Lakeisha, and I'm here in my husband Johnny's kitchen, about to put together some crab rangoons. So to get started, our ingredients that we're going to need: a little bit of imitation crab, some cream cheese, about 8 ounces. I like to use 2 of the scallions, the green onions, and then a package of the wonton skins. Now, you're probably not going to use that whole package unless, of course, you decide to make a whole lot, and then in that case, you're going to have to size up the amount of ingredients that you use. But approximately 1 cup of crab, the 8 ounces of cream cheese, plain, and then the 2 scallions, a little bit of garlic powder, salt, and pepper is all that I use. I'm going to cut it all up and put it together in the glass bowl, mix it up, and then we'll come back together. So you can buy your crab, your imitation crab, in kind of strips, or you can buy it like this, which is called flaked. And it's just kind of just little chunks of it. And I cut it into these little cubes because you want to make sure that you don't have it too large. You have to, of course, put it into the little wonton wrappers. So you don't want to have a huge size, but you also want to be able to taste it. So you don't want it to be, too small. I do about these little cubes here, as you can see. And I go ahead and cut all of my crab up. Again, I'm going to do about, this is almost a cup, not quite a cup of crab. But I mean, you could do it without the crab. If you don't like the taste of the crab, you could just make it a cream cheese rangoon. A lot of people like to do that. So you'll do all of the steps that I'm doing, minus, of course, the crab. If you get the strips, it may be a little quicker to cut. I just like this because I use this crab in other things, such as salads, and sometimes almost like a tuna salad. If you like to use it for several different things, then you can buy the kind that you think will work best for your home. One thing you want to make sure while you're cutting everything up is that your cream cheese has been sitting out and it's room temperature. You do not want to have cold cream cheese that's coming straight from the refrigerator. If you do that, then it's going to be kind of hard to work with once you start actually putting everything together in the bowl and stirring it up. So just make sure while you're cutting everything, or an hour or so before the time that you're actually going to make these rangoons, that you've taken out your cream cheese and let it get room temperature. Okay, so here's my crab. This is about the size that I like. Again, just little cubes. And I'm going to go ahead and do my onion with the same knife because it's my favorite knife. I'm going to cut off the ends. I've already washed my onions. I left the ends on. Just this thing that I feel like I don't want to cut off the ends until I'm ready to use it. Just a personal thing. And I usually cut up right to the beginning of the green, and then I cut separate from that. So again, this is just the way I do it. You guys can make it work for you. Now again, with these, you're going to want to make little pieces because you got to remember it's going inside of the wonton wrapper. And with the onion, same thing. Now, what you could do if you have big scallions is you could cut these in half the long way like this prior to actually cutting them, because then you'll get smaller pieces. If you have small ones, I wouldn't worry about, but these ones were a little bit bigger. And I was having troubles finding them at the grocery store right now. So always make sure that if you're planning to get them, that you can find them nice and fresh. Here we go. I'm just going to cut up the rest of this into real small pieces. And believe it or not, guys, this is the majority of your ingredients right here. So we're pretty much done already. How simple that was. Now we're going to take our glass bowl and we're going to put our crab, our onions, after they're all chopped up. And our cream cheese. Remember, if you let it sit out, then it'll be nice and easy to get out of the package. This is 8 ounces. And you can just size up if you want to make more. I start stirring everything up. Get it started. And then once it's, just partially mixed, you can see how it looks here. Then I'm going to put in my salt and pepper. And that's just how I like to season it. If you can find a different type of seasoning, then by all means, use the seasoning that you want to use. Okay, so a little bit of pepper. Get some of our salt. I'm using sea salt. It's just what I prefer, but regular iodized salt is good too. And then some garlic powder. You could probably use garlic salt, but then I probably wouldn't use the other salt. A little bit of garlic powder. And you could probably even put actual garlic in here, as long as you cut it up fine enough. All right. Just get this until it's all the way mixed. And then we will come back and I will show you how to fill your wonton wrappers. So once you have your mixture all stirred up, you'll see that this is what the consistency looks like. And I've already made one, but I just want to take you through the process here. You have to be really careful when you peel off your wonton wrappers because they are very thin. But you're basically going to peel it off. It's a square like this. And you take about, I like a little overstuffed teaspoon like this. A little extra. You can put as much as you want in there, but this is the way I like to do it. Now what you need to do is, if you see I have this little container of water next to me, you want to take your finger and just kind of run water all the way around the edges of your wonton wrapper. That's going to help you seal the wrapper because you want to make sure that it's sealed so everything inside stays in when you are actually going to cook these. So you can make whatever design you want. There's all kinds of ways. I've seen these in all different ways at different restaurants, but however you decide to seal it, fold it, then you just make sure that you've got your edges all sealed up. And I did one, this one's a little bit different, like a little pouch, and then this one's like kind of folded in half. And that's all you need to do until you've got as many as you want to make. And again, you can put as much or as little as you want in here of your mixture. Make them as big as you want, but just go through that process. Make sure you get the water along the edges. You're not trying to soak it. Just dip your finger in the water and then just seal it up. So I usually just go across and then I fold up and seal all along the edges like this. And again, you can do it so many different ways. It's not really a right or wrong, just as long as you seal all of the edges and make sure that that goodness is inside. We'll do a couple more of these and then we'll come back together when I'm getting ready to fry them. Now, I did put some oil in a pan, just regular cooking oil. And I've got it in like a skillet, but a little bit deeper skillet, a saute pan. And I'm going to heat that up and just get it so that it's warm enough for me to do the deep fry with these. So again, just make sure you're pinching all the edges and that everything is all sealed in. and as big or as little as you want. You can put a lot in here and make these really big. I've had them at restaurants where, sometimes they're a little bit fuller than other restaurants, and it's kind of a disappointment because you don't really get much filling inside. So this is the best part about doing it yourself, is you could determine how much filling you put inside. Oh, I might have put just a little too much in that one. There we go. And again, just a little bit of that water on your finger. And I've had them like this before too, where you just do a triangle. If you're filling them more, you're probably going to have to do it like this. So you can cook them whatever way you want. And if you want them to be all cute and pretty, then you might need to figure out a different design if you're going to have them for appetizers or take them, to a work function or have them at a nice family get together. But if you're just going to eat them yourself, or just your kids, your family are going to eat them, nobody's really going to care what they look like. They just want to they just want the goodness that comes out of them. All right. So pinch the edges. All done. I set it down here. So I got a couple different styles, and I'm gonna stick them in the pan with my grease that's currently warming up, and I'll let you guys see that process. Now that I've got my grease all heated up, I went ahead and dropped some of my Rangoons into there, and you can see it's just kind of boiling a little bit. Once they get to where they're kind of bubbling and they look like they're starting to dry up on the edges, that's when you'll want to take them out. And then I usually just put them on paper towel on a plate or on a bowl and let them drain. But yeah, you want to give them just a few minutes in the grease. If you have a deep fryer, you could use one. I've used one before. I really like to have the control of the smaller pan. But you can see like this one here getting a little brown and crispy. You want to make sure if you're using the pan that you turn them over. Now, I like my grease a little higher than probably you would normally do. I'm replicating the deep fryer. You don't have to have your grease this high. I just like to get them brown and then turn them over and brown on the other side. So once these are done, then we'll take it out and take a look at what we've accomplished. So we have our end result here. These are the bigger ones that I fried up, and then some of the smaller ones that I fried up. And again, it doesn't matter what shape you make them. You just need to make sure that you've sealed them. I did, in fact, brown them a little more than you may. I like them a little bit crispier. However, you can always just not keep them in the grease as long, and then you won't have to worry about them being so brown. Take a quick bite and see how it. Delicious. Nice and fresh. The mixture of the ingredients is right on point. It's perfect. Super simple. Took me probably totally to get it all together, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So again, I'm Lakeisha in my husband Johnny's kitchen with the wet snacks. We'll see you next time.